I know it's been a long time once again, and I told myself that I was going to do a better job with YouTube. Some excuses include me just feeling burnt out by life in general. Everybody's fine. I'm fine. We are doing great. But the problem is that I just have a lot of things I'm dealing with at work, and then also I have a lot of friend commitments too as well that leads me to kind of give up on some of my hobbies, which also includes YouTube and social media in general, and also reading. But I'm going to start off with a very quick and easy video of books that I really want to read and that are on the top of my TBR. So the first book that I have right here is a historical romance book. This one is an older version cover of the Karen Hawkins novel called The Abduction of Julia. The reason why I bought it was because it's just very pretty, but they do have another newer cover now. So if you want to pick it up, it's gonna look a little bit different. But I was very captivated by like the first couple pages of this book, simply because our hero actually abducts our heroine and forces her into a marriage. And so they are of a marriage of convenience because he needs to inherit all his money, but he needs to marry a specific type of person from a lineage in order to get it, and she fits the bill. I really enjoyed it so far. Right now I'm around 62 pages in. It's slowing down a little bit, so I'm hoping that it will be pretty quick and easy for me to read. I want to get back into historical romances because I do love them so much. And if you guys didn't know, I do have a historical romance reading club that I have with Rachel from Rachel Read and Sings. We meet each month and we read historical romances. So definitely check out her channel and my channel to keep up to date on our picks. So the next book that I have is another historical romance novel. This one's called Earl's Trip by Jenny Holiday, and I love Jenny Holiday. I've only read a lot of her contemporary romance novels and I thoroughly enjoyed them. So this one is kind of her newer historical romance. She has written historical romance before, but they were more independently published. This one is actually through the publisher Kensington. This one involves our hero who has two best friends, and they like to go on this like really great trip and grand trip together. But what ends up happening is that one of their other good friends is going to be eloped, and it's going to be disastrous. And then that friend's younger sister is trying to save her brother from this ruin, and then now suddenly our hero has to save our heroine, who is the younger sister, from ruining her own reputation. And then suddenly they're kind of like caught up in this like really forced close proximity situation as well. The next read that I have is this one called Old Flames and New Fortune by Sarah Hoggle, and she is the author of You Deserve Each Other. I've read Sarah Hoggle a lot before. There were some hits and misses, but recently Sarah Hoggle has been diving into more of like a fun kind of style of romance. So I'm actually very eager and curious to read her latest novel. This one involves our heroine who is a florist, and she kind of like decides that love isn't for her anymore because of this like one big heartbreak that she had. But then what ends up happening is that her floral shop is kind of like up for ruins, meaning like there might not be enough money to keep the flower shop open. So she decides to fake date her colleague so that they can get an invitation to a wedding of an investor so that they can kind of, you know, save the flower shop. But then what ends up happening is that she doesn't realize that her colleague's older brother was actually her childhood crush. So then now things are getting a little bit more sticky, a little bit more awkward. I think this one's going to be a little bit angsty too as well, given the fact that our heroine is lying to her high school crush and saying that she has feelings for the brother when in reality she still has feelings for him. So I'm excited. The next book that I'm currently reading right now is this one called Love at First Book by Jen McKinley. And I've read this book today. I started this book today, and I was reading it thinking that I wasn't going to get too far into the book. I was outside at the park enjoying my life. And then I ended up reading 3 chapters in one sitting. That's like 30 minutes right there because I went through like 40 pages pretty quickly. I really enjoy it. So this one involves our heroine who used to be a librarian, but she grew tired of her life. So she decided to pack her bags and kind of fly all the way over to Ireland to accept a job as like a writer's assistant for her favorite like author. And then what ends up happening is that she also has like a part-time job at the bookshop for the author's son. So she works with the author's son, and then they have like an enemies to lovers romance so far right now because he doesn't trust her and he's very protective of his mother. And then she is just like, dude, I know my shit and I just want to be here and live my life and live the best life possible. Get off my back. And I'm loving the dynamic so far. I think our hero sounds so cute and adorable the way that the author is describing him. The last book that I really want to read is this one that was sent to me from Simon Schuster Canada. This one's called Bird Flirting with Benefits by Sarah T. Dubb. This one comes out on June 4th, and honestly, I read the first page, really enjoyed it. I can't wait to dive back into the book. This one involves our heroine who's a lot older than our typical, like, standard female heroines in our romance novels, so I kind of like this twist and I kind of like this dynamic. Our heroine is, like, recently divorced, and she is, like, empty nester, so I think, like, her children has moved out of her house already, and one of her friends asks her for a favor, which is to pretend to be a fake date for their other friend, and then they get to know each other. But they're, like, opposites attract from what I can see and from what I've read so far. Our heroine is funny, she is energetic, she is zany, she makes a lot of jokes when she's nervous, and she's very lovely and lively and bubbly. Our hero is a very quiet, stoic cinnamon roll. Like, he seems very, like, tough on the outside, but he's very soft and gooey on the inside, and I love seeing their dynamic. I always love a good opposites attract novel, and I think this one would definitely get me out of a reading slump. But anyways, that is it for all the books that I have on my TBR so far that I really want to get to and read. I definitely want to read the Love at First book very soon. That was very funny. I said book twice, but I really want to read that book very soon. And then I also have Karen Hawkins' novel right on the back of my burner too as well. And then after I finish those two books, I'm definitely diving into this one because this one just sounds right up my alley with the opposites attract. But that is it for all the books that I wanted to let you know about today. And hopefully I'll see you guys again next time in a new video and very soon. Bye.